Welcome to A Biblical Worldview. I'm your girl, Tonya Michelle, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Go ahead and hit that like button underneath the video so that I can get into the algorithm and so you can see my videos in your feed when you log on to Rumble or YouTube. Go ahead and leave some comments if you like, share the video with your friends, and if you would like to support my efforts here at A Biblical Worldview, then there are some links in the description box where you can donate, and any contribution you make will be greatly appreciated and will help me continue to bring you content from a biblical perspective. So let's get into it. Well, a biblical perspective is the only way I can look at this situation that I want to share with you today. I've been following the WNBA. You have probably heard me talk about them. Well, I don't really follow them. I've been following the stories that I've been hearing about them because I don't watch women's sports. I just don't like women's sports. That's just my own personal preference. I prefer to watch sports and watch men. So the WNBA has been making the news lately. They've been making the rounds because I think, in my own personal opinion, I think they are digging themselves into a deeper and deeper hole every time they do or say something. So a few days ago, we talked about a video where I shared with you where some of the coaches and players had been asked how they felt about trans players, and these coaches and players said the trans players should be accepted in any spaces where they want to be, all that and all that. And once they said that, then two former NBA players, two retired NBA players, have now come out and they are saying that they sometimes identify as a woman, and because they identify as a woman, they feel like they should be eligible to play in the WNBA. And I know that one of these players has at least filed some kind of paperwork. He's sent in some kind of paperwork concerning declaring for the 2027 WNBA draft. There's another player who has he's been campaigning pretty rigorously, even in a wig, to make his point that he sometimes identifies as a woman, so he should be eligible to play in WNBA. So now we are all caught up. Well, these two ladies that I'm about to show you were at a WNBA game. And these two ladies want to stand up for a player. I think her name is Sophie Cunningham, who has made a statement saying that, we really need to protect women's sports. We don't need to be inviting men to come in because somebody's going to get hurt, basically. Now, Sophie Cunningham didn't say all that. I'm not trying to put words in her mouth, but I do know that she has made statements to the effect that she believes that women's sports should be protected. Okay. And I believe women's sports should be protected because somebody's going to get hurt. You get these men, and these men are more physically dominant than women. And if they get in these games playing against these women the way they play against men, somebody's going to get hurt. And it's more than likely not going to be one of the men. But anyway, so these men have now declared, so these two women, this mom and this daughter, went to a WNBA game. And I'm just going to show you the video. I'll let the video tell the story, and then I'll come back and we will discuss it. We'll have some comments about it. I saw this video on what is formerly known as Twitter. And I'm going to share that with you here. And here we go.
And we were made to cover up our XXXY shirts at this game.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes, they gave us shirts. They gave us T-shirts during overtime and told us we had to leave.
And this says for the girl
or cover our shirts. This just happened.
Where were you sitting?
Floor
4-3 row
C.
Yeah.
Third row of floor 3.
And how much were your seats?
$1,000 each around. Yeah, and we did nothing. Like we were just sitting there. I didn't make signs. I wanted to make signs, but I didn't. I did nothing.
Now, I did notice during the game on the Jumbotron, they put up a woman wearing a shirt that said protect trans rights or something.
She's the one who told on us.
Because she was made to zip up her jacket.
So
she shouldn't have to.
But they put her shirt on the Jumbotron.
I know.
It's almost like the message was made and they said now zip it up to make it seem like they're consistent.
Yeah.
But they never were.
Yeah.
No, never.
And why did you spend so much on tickets? Why was it important for you to be here today?
To support Sophie Cunningham and to support women in women's sports because it's just common sense.
And what's the relation here?
That's my daughter.
And are you an athlete?
I used to be until I had a bunch of knee surgery.
What sport?
I did all sorts here. I did soccer. I did all of that.
Yes.
And did this issue ever come up? Like, did a biological man ever try to play against?
No, we're from here, so it hasn't happened here
A lot.
But I can't believe that just happened
Yeah, that's
in
shocking.
Atlanta, Georgia.
So these two ladies, this mom and this daughter, apparently went to watch a WNBA game in Atlanta, Georgia. So Atlanta, I guess, has a WNBA team. And maybe Sophie Cunningham's team was in Atlanta playing against the Atlanta team. This mom and this daughter had on T-shirts that said something to the effect of XX and XY. And if you went to biology class, at least back in the day when I went to biology class, we learned the XX and XY are the chromosomes that determine whether or not you are male or whether or not you are female. Okay? So these two ladies with their T-shirts on that are representing human biology and common sense, by the way, were told that they needed to cover up their T-shirts. Now, they were told, it's my understanding after having watched some other videos and seen some other commentary on this story, these two ladies were told they had to cover their XXXY T-shirts because there was another lady there who was on the Jumbotron who had on T-shirt that said protect trans rights. And that lady was asked to cover her T-shirt. She had on a jacket or something. She was asked to zip up her jacket, is what I am understanding. Well, that lady was not happy about having been asked to cover up her T-shirt. So she turned around and said, well, look at them. They've got on the XXXY T-shirts. So then that's when security came over and asked them to cover up their T-shirts. Now, this mom says, well, the lady shouldn't have been asked to cover her T-shirt either. You know, this is unfair. Okay, that's her opinion. She can have that opinion. Because I don't believe that any trans rights are ever violated, because every person is welcome to be the person that God created them. Male and female created he them. We've talked about Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. They have every man who is walking around in a dress and makeup and a wig and high heels. He has every right to be a man. He doesn't have to dress up like a woman if he doesn't want to. He has that right. Every woman who has decided that she wants to be a man, she has every right to be what God created her, and that is a woman. She has every right to be feminine. Nobody's infringing on those rights. But as soon as this mom and this daughter come in with their T-shirts on, and their T-shirts are not only biologically correct, but they are simply common sense, they've been asked to cover their T-shirts. because somebody else feels like their rights are being infringed or because they're offended. Well, one thing that I've learned as a Bible student, it is that the truth is offensive. And those t-shirts that they were wearing represented the truth. And it doesn't matter who's offended by it. God designed it. And there's nothing that we here on earth can do to change it. And, you know, people don't like that these days. They don't like hearing the truth, but that is what it is. And so if I were these two women, if I were this mom and this daughter, and by the way, before I even get into that, by the way, this mom and this daughter paid $1,000 per seat. $1,000 per seat. Now, I don't know on average for the WNBA. I would assume for the WNBA, that's a lot of money. Because I know I've heard some of the ticket prices for the NBA, and I know the closer you get to the court, the more expensive those seats are. But the WNBA, you got Sophie Cunningham, who's coming in there. I mean, she's talking common sense, and she's getting people to come to those games, spending $2,000 for one game. And you mean to tell me you're going to offend the people who are spending that kind of money? Before Sophie Cunningham and before Caitlin Clark, you were whining and moaning and complaining and griping about you weren't getting paid anything. And pay me what you owe me. And we need a raise. While all the while, the WNBA was in the tank. I mean, they were so pitiful that it's my understanding that the NBA has been subsidizing them for the 20, 25, 30 years they've been in existence because nobody wanted to see them play. All of a sudden, you get two players in the league who are obviously playing good basketball. And I don't know because I don't watch WNBA because I don't like women's sports. But you get two women in there who are putting fannies in those seats. And first of all, you're going to come against that player who's bringing in fans. And then you're going to offend those fans who are paying that kind of money. There is no way on earth I'd pay $1,000 for a seat to go to a basketball game. Now, that's just all there is to it. And I used to be a huge NBA fan. My favorite player was Ray Allen. I love me some Ray Allen. Oh, my goodness. He is my favorite player in the NBA all time, bar none. I've been a Ray Allen fan since he was at UConn, okay? Anyway, even as big a Ray Allen fan as I was back then and still am, I ain't paying no $1,000 to go see Ray Allen. I promise you that. Nope. Not when I could sit at home and turn on my computer and stream the game practically for free. Nothing is absolutely free because you got to pay for the streaming service, but the streaming service doesn't cost $1,000, and especially not $1,000 for just that one game. These ladies paid $1,000, and this is the way you're going to treat them. So, as I was getting ready to say, if I were these women, this mom and this daughter, who got asked to cover up their t-shirts in the game, and if they didn't cover them up, cover them up, they would be asked to leave. And see, I wish they had asked security, oh, if we leave, are we going to get a refund for our seats? Because if they escorted me out there, oh my goodness, okay, let me not even say what would happen, but $1,000 for those seats. So I hope these women will sue the WNBA. I hope they'll sue the team, the Atlanta team. I hope they sue the owners of the arena. As far as I'm concerned, they could sue the city of Atlanta because that was ridiculous. And this whole thing with the WNBA is ridiculous, has been all the while. You know, I read that they're having a meeting now to determine eligibility for playing in the WNBA. Well, the letters WNBA stand for Women's National Basketball Association. Women's National Basketball Association. Why do you need to have a meeting to discuss eligibility? The only eligibility requirement needs to be, well, of course, you ought to be able to play, because I could go and declare for the draft and they laugh me out of there, as they should, because I can't play basketball. But I meet the most important requirement, and that is that I am a woman. So there shouldn't be a meeting, because a meeting shouldn't be necessary. But here we are. And this is the state of America right now, and it burdens my heart so much. And the only thing I can think when I think about situations like this and how far we have drifted and how crazy some of this stuff sounds, the only thing I can think is, please come, Lord Jesus. Come and rapture up your people and take your people home. Get us out of this mess, because I know this mess is going to do nothing but continue to escalate. And it's going to escalate to the point where God is going to his patience with us is going to run out. His patience ran out with the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he destroyed them. And I believe America is headed down that same road. So I am so sorry that this happened to this mom and her daughter. I'm so sorry that their girl time was interrupted by people who just don't have the sense God gave them that. But I do hope that they will move forward and take some kind of action, because they would absolutely deserve some kind of vindication. That situation never should have happened. And by the way, I did read earlier today that I don't know if maybe it was the WNBA who made a statement that said this never should have happened. Or maybe it was the Atlanta team. I'm not sure exactly who, but somebody made a public statement that what happened to these two women should not have happened. Well, they need some kind of, there needs to be some kind of vindication for them. They need some kind of compensation, something for what happened to them that was absolutely unnecessary. So anyway, well, that's my time. Thank you so much for talking about Biblical Worldview. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I will see you next time.